Ladies and gents and everyone in between, welcome to PlayerTwoFirst.
I'm Player 2.
And I'm Player 1. Welcome everyone. We are still doing the same thing we've been doing, which is resetting for this shiny Ho-Oh. In fact, this reset is something in the vicinity of 6,800 resets into this. And so we have been doing this all week. We have been both just anytime that we've been free, anytime we've had a moment. I've had my sister doing it. We've just had anyone who's around just like resetting for us on other DSs and stuff so we don't break this one. But one thing we wanted to do is show you guys kind of what it's like to sit there and shiny hunt. So we are going to take a little time, continue on this hunt for a little while. If we can't find it here, we will probably just progress onwards. We do have to continue making progress, even if we don't find this shiny. So this episode is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit of us just not doing a whole lot of gameplay action, but hopefully you guys can enjoy some of the bantering that the two of us do and other things that we talk about. And I figure this could be kind of an update video for the channel. We are nearing the halfway point of this game, so there's plenty to talk about what's going to happen after this. As the channel continues to grow, as the channel continues to expand. Recently, mostly our own fault for accidentally gaming the system, our first video of the series hit 100 views. So thank you everyone who at least clicked on our channel and made that video automatically start. So we do appreciate that.
That's not a trick. We didn't
mean to do that.
We haven't gotten our shit together to put up an intro video.
Yes, so that's just there as the first video on the channel, but 100 views means that 100 people have clicked on this channel at some point. Yeah. You may be the same person clicking on it over and over and over, whatever.
In which case, thank you specifically.
Yeah, we appreciate that a lot. So we do want to make sure that as this channel continues to grow, we stick to the roots that we wanted to start with and the values that we thought were important. And we want to go through those with you guys today a little bit. And then we'll just get into I don't know, kind of train of thought. Whatever happens with this episode. Mm-hmm. But do you have anything that you want to talk about this series? How you feel it's going? How you feel it's grown already?
I've been thinking about this a bit recently, and I do worry from time to time that this is getting tedious. I know some people who watch every one of our videos and watches Robert streams when he does them and all that is, really gung-ho for Pokemon and only really wants to see Pokemon, and if anything other than Pokemon comes up, it's like, okay, I'll wait for next time. But I also know that a lot of people like a variety of things, and when they see a lot of, Pokemon episodes all in a row, they may grow tiresome of that. And so I do worry about that a little bit. That's not to say that I want to slow down or that I want to stop playing Pokemon, because I love it as much as anyone who's ever gone through the game does. But, again, I have from time to time thought, maybe we're spending too much time on it, whether it's that we're taking too long or that we're doing just Pokemon and we need to mix it up. But I will say that going forward, once we've either gotten through this and made it through our first series, or we've gone deep into Kanto and we're really comfortable and we're starting to plan our future series, that we may shake it up. We may have every Wednesday or every Friday be a new series. We may start a series in the middle of another series, and theoretically we may at some point have 3 series a week, have a Monday series, a Wednesday series, and a Friday series. So I just wanted to put the idea out there of shaking it up in whatever capacity, kind of get your impression of what you might expect from that, whether you like the idea, whether you don't like the idea, and just kind of sound off so that we can kind of plan the channel as a group.
Yeah, I mean, this is our channel as far as the content that gets put on it, but it's your channel as far as you guys are going to tell us what you want to see and how you want it to grow. Obviously, we can't do this without you guys. We can't grow a channel, we can't become a community if we don't have anyone else with us. And so I do agree. We've talked about having some Plot Twist Friday videos like last week, where we had that one-off Splatoon video. We could have more Splatoon stuff as far as just random weekend content or something like that. We could do 2 concurrent series. that's a lot of work for us, but we don't mind the work as long as we know that you guys are enjoying it. We do have a couple of series lined up. I don't know if now is the time to reveal them, but we do have the next couple of series, like main channel series, long-term commitments that we want to do lined up. So that'll probably take us through the summer, at least through the summer.
Yeah.
Although those two may be able to go on simultaneously.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think that'll actually work really well if those two go on simultaneously. So we do have a lot of new capabilities. We actually just got the ability to record Switch footage right the day we recorded the Splatoon video. Actually, was the first day we had the capability to record Switch footage. We wanted to test that. That's kind of why that video even happened. It worked really well. So we are going to be recording some more Switch stuff moving forward. We each have a Switch, and we actually have two devices that will allow us to both record our own gameplay if that becomes a thing you guys want to see. Both of us playing Splatoon, something like that. Both of us playing a different game simultaneously. However we want to do that, or you guys want us to do that, definitely tell us and keep us in the loop. I think that's about it as far as channel updates and moving forward goes. Do you have anything you want to talk about how you felt this series has gone?
It's hard to say, because as being player 2, me being player 2, Robert puts in a lot of work on the front end. He does all of the research. He has spreadsheets on spreadsheets on spreadsheets for every single time we go into a route or an important battle with an important trainer or anything like that. And so he's got all this knowledge. And Pokemon by nature is a very, very technical game. There's a lot of information that we can give you. And we've sort of the games that we've been brainstorming that I would be player 1 for are either my inclination to gather a lot of information from a game is typically more story-based, or they're just games that the stats aren't quite so important. Whether you don't really have as much competition as you do in Pokemon, so you don't have as many people focusing on things like EVs and IVs and natures and everything like that, or it's just not as important to the story, and you can kind of know what's going to happen based on certain patterns you see in your character's stats, or not. You can't really breed, there's not a lot of this, but a lot of the things, again, to kind of come back to the beginning, that I would be player 1 for are things like, here's the story of this world, here's the canon, here's the mythos. And so it would kind of be a different direction than this is, where here you'd be getting a lot of facts, and you have been getting a lot of facts. I know I've made a title for every single one. That's what comes up in the right side. But, for these other games, it wouldn't be quite the same. I don't remember what the question was, but that's where I got with that.
That's fine. I mean, that's the thing about this, is we just kind of want to talk to you guys, see where our train of thought goes. This is not scripted or anything. It's not like I had an interview ready for Dan. He'll ask me questions, I'm sure, at some point when they come into his mind.
Yeah.
This series to me, and it's funny that you had mentioned me being player 1 and having all these spreadsheets and doing a lot of the front end work and getting it all set up ready so that, when the time comes, it's presentable in a nice, easy fashion. Because presenting it in a nice, easy fashion is your job. And so, all I have to do is whatever I'm doing, and you're the one who has to take that and turn it into something that's so good and so accessible to anybody. To take someone who knows Pokemon through and through, who comes to my streams of competitive battling and still gets something out of these videos, or someone who has no idea what Pokemon is and is able to laugh and enjoy the content that we're producing, that's a fine line to toe. And the fact that you've been able to dance that very, very effectively, given that this is our first series, you wouldn't know that. I feel like watching these videos and not knowing it's our first series, it doesn't look like a channel's first foray.
I hope not.
It doesn't feel like that to me. Having done my own series and knowing what it looks like when a channel's bad. Not bad, but young and inexperienced.
Yeah.
This doesn't appear to be that.
Well, it's funny because you've got all your front end where you just consolidate all of your information, but I've got my front end where I spend weeks on end watching Premiere Pro tutorials and little well, just kind of tutorials about everything, sound tutorials, video tutorials, whatever, so that when I get onto the cutting room floor, when I get into the cutting room, I don't know how that expression works. When I get into the cutting room, I know what I'm doing, and you know, the first video took me 3 weeks.
3 weeks
to do.
3 weeks.
We had episode 1, Gen 2 First, recorded at the beginning of October, and then we put it out at the beginning of November.
Yeah.
And almost all of that time, up until the last couple days of October, was editing episode 1. The last week of October, I think, was editing episode 2. And then I stayed home on the Thursday before our videos went out to finish episode 2 and edit all of episode 3. And the two of those together took me 13 hours. Now, since then, I've cut the time down to anywhere between 3 and 5 hours, which is so much better.
You got it down now.
When I'm in a pinch, I can record, or I can edit Wednesday's video on Tuesday. I can edit Friday's video on Thursday. And so that's kind of what the work that went in was. I kind of hid it from you because I didn't want it to seem like it was a first series. It's just what preparation I can do and how I can make the timing all work out. So I'm not, as I'm sure you can tell, I'm even doing a little less fancy things than I was the first few episodes. I just figured out what can and can't go in to an episode in a given amount of time, and have kind of streamlined my process. So all of the going from a clumsy, ugly first series kind of all happened before I hit export.
Yeah, and Dan was very adamant from the beginning that we were not gonna put up a video that we were not proud of, and that came on a lot of ends. We actually, so something you guys may not even know is that we recorded episodes 1 and 2, and then episode 2 for some reason did not record any of the gameplay audio. And
then we recorded episode 3 before we realized, I think.
Had we recorded episode 3 at that time?
I think so.
I don't
think
remember,
we recorded them all at once.
Yeah, you might be right. But episode 2, for some reason, one of the episodes that we recorded did not have audio.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dan asked me to go back and record every sound effect.
No, I just wanted to find it.
Okay, yeah, you wanted to find
them all.
And then record any that we couldn't find. Which meant encountering bell sprouts at the time and like Pidgey cries and everything, like every possible sound effect. And he was gonna go through and put every sound effect exactly where it needed to go.
I was nuts for it.
I took him aside and I said, Dan, it's episode 2. Let's re-record. Let's just start over. We don't need to put this one up there. And Dan's like, no, you've already done all this work to breed this Elekid. We've already raised it levels. We can't start it over. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just breed a new one.
That's what it was. We hadn't recorded episode 3 yet, but we had recorded episode 2. And in order, since we had saved, we had to start over.
Yes, I had to rebreed the Elekid. Yes. I had to go back. I had to make sure that I got all of this stuff out of the old HeartGold file, including the Hitmonchan and the EXP share and stuff that we had put in at the beginning. You guys might remember from this series. Bring all those out. Couldn't forget any of that. Because if I lost that Hitmonchan, that was it. And then rebreed the Elekid with more egg moves and with the right nature again, and re-import it into the new save and everything. And that was something he was adamant about. And I personally, at the time, I fought you on that. I was like, let's just do it. Like, no one's gonna care. It's episode 2.
Put in some Glitch X City music. Yeah, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and then he was like, no, we're gonna make something we're proud of. And I'm so glad and grateful that you were adamant about that, because at this point, it's like, yeah, we did have an episode that had audio malfunctions, and it was way too deep into the series to fix it. And
yeah, you've seen 1 or 2 episodes, I think, now that have just Glitch X City music under them because there wasn't. Plot Twist Friday last week, the freaking Splatoon audio didn't record.
I do know why, and I have fixed it.
Okay,
so I have, yes, that's all set now. So for future Switch games that we play, the audio will record.
Yeah.
So that's fine, but yes, that did happen, and like that, it's gonna happen on the channel. Technology hates working. We've had everything break at least once. Just about.
We had, so the first thing was that, where the audio didn't record for episode 2. And then my camera I don't know what happened, because when I took it to Best Buy, they were like, oh, I think the contacts where the camera receives the battery are something. And then I sent it off to Canon, and they were like, no, that wasn't it. We just fixed it. But at the same time as my camera wasn't, or briefly beforehand, I guess, before the camera stopped turning on, the camera wouldn't accept the audio jack from the microphone that we're recording into now. And that was the only combination of devices that wouldn't work. We have it hooked up to an audio recorder now, and it works, and it worked then. The other mic, we have a lapel mic, that worked, plugged right into the camera. So the camera could take mics, and that mic could go into other things, but that mic couldn't go into the camera. So we had that, we had the camera just not turning on, we had the audio not being recorded, and then we had this, the Switch game capture.
Yeah, my capture card decided to delete the product key.
That's right.
That happened right at the beginning.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it just was like, oh, this software requires a product key. And I was like, I put that in 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it since then. And they were like, nope, you don't have one. So I looked at it, and it was like, here's your product key. Like right here, it's locked in there. I saw it. And then I closed that dialog box, reopened the dialog box, and it was like, input product key, there is none. I was like, well, I didn't write it down. So then I ended up having to email the company that I got the capture card from and be like, can you get me the product key? And they were like, if you get us the sale number, we can get you the product key. I was like, wow. Okay. And this company is apparently notoriously bad for customer service. Shout outs to you guys. I've had great experiences. But they just got me the product key 2 days later. And I put it in, and everything's worked since then for the 3DS software, at least, which is good. So that happened. OBS has done some weird things with the... One time it just decided that the lower screen was just going to be the size of the screen. It's just like, I don't even understand how that happened, because I didn't do anything, and it didn't touch the top one. They're on the same, they're recording on this, we record the two screens on the same screen, I guess, and then Dan cuts them and puts them into the video in the appropriate places. And for some reason, it just decided to take the box that was the lower screen and make it twice as large. And I was like, why now?
And just cut right into the upper screen.
Yeah, it was like, why now? Why this? I've never seen that before. Like, I don't understand how you decided this was a good idea.
And any of you who have eagle eyes have been going through every single frame of our videos, you may have noticed there was a part during one of the speed ups a few episodes ago that I cut in the middle, and I cut the part where it just grew, and I came back in when Robert had brought it back down to size, but it also wasn't exactly the same size. So I then had to crop it again, like recrop it and reshrink it so that it looked exactly the same, but there's still a little bit of a shift you can see right in the middle of one of the speed ups.
So like things like that, and they just keep happening to this channel, and like it's not just us. That's every YouTuber's nightmare, is that technology is the ficklest thing. Is ficklest a word?
It might as well be. For what it describes.
Yes, technology will break.
It will.
No matter what you do, there's almost nothing in this life technologically that won't just crap out on you at some point for no reason. And so we've done all that we can to try to mitigate the problems between having backups on backups for things. It used to be that you only had the one battery for your camera as well.
That's right.
We had to buy a second battery to make sure of that. I bought a battery backup for my computer so that in case the power goes out, which has happened, not while recording, but it has happened. If that goes out, I can save everything and make sure that doesn't get lost. After every video, we check to make sure that the audio recorded, and if it doesn't, we don't save and re-record the video.
Yep.
Of course, the one video that we didn't check was anyway. I digress. So, like, this channel has done everything it possibly can to be successful, and even within that, we've had 100 different things go wrong, but 100 different things go right as well. And I think we've talked a lot about the negatives, but we should just like move over towards those positives, because the amount that we've learned about video editing, the amount that we've learned about sitting in front of a camera. I mean, I recently watched the first couple of videos again, and we sound nervous, not nervous, but nervous, saying our intro, which you may have noticed was different this time. We'll get to that in a second. But we sounded a little nervous saying our intro, and we I watched the more recent episodes and we sound so excited and so ready to go. And it's like cool to see that growth already between us, you know, and the channel, and how it's like, we're ready to go. Like, we love what we're doing. And I think that this is, it's a hobby right now. But it's a hobby that I think the two of us want to do for a long time. And pursue, you know, and make grow, right? There's a lot of things you guys don't see around my room. So we record in my room, if you don't notice by my closet. And so we don't have any of the noise cancellation foam that goes up on the walls because that stuff's expensive and we don't have money right now to do that. So we have blankets hung up by clamps hung on picture hooks that will cancel as much noise as we possibly can and as much echo as we possibly can. And like things like that, we try to make it as good as possible for you guys. You guys don't even understand all the tricks and all the tools that we've used at our disposal to make this happen. And it's super fun, and I think we both love it and love the concept of the challenge and creativity of, okay, we don't have money, but we have this need for things that cost money. How do we fix it? How do we mitigate it? How do we work with it within our budget? And, you know, those are kind of fun, like, troubleshooting things. It's like, okay, now what? Like,
oh, we didn't even talk about lighting.
Oh my gosh, lighting.
First of all, I'm going to show you the lighting as well. So there's one. We've just got Robert's lamp in his room. We have this, like, Home Depot work light. Actually, I picked this up at Walmart for, like, 25 bucks, 30 bucks. And then, this isn't even one light. This is just a light bulb that I got. And then I also got a dish. Just like a reflection dish. And I slap them together. It doesn't have a switch. You just plug it into the wall.
Yep.
And when you're done using it, you unplug it from the wall. But this is partially a testament to, you know, when you're on a budget, you can still do everything you want to do. Mm-hmm. And it's also a testament to the fact that, like,
if you want to get it done, you'll get it done.
Yeah, and to go back to what we were saying about, I'm gonna take a picture of the sound setup too. To go back to when we were talking about how, you know, we've had 100 things go wrong and we've had 100 more things go right, is that I don't know how many of you were into photography or videography or audio or post-processing or like any of that, planning a video, shooting a video, whatever. But when there's no natural there's no natural skill. Like, you have natural skill to walk and run because that's what you do when you're a living thing, or throw something or like move, you know. But there's no just like, oh, this is how a camera must work because it's in my genes. You start at zero, and then the curve is like this, and then finally you kind of start to get it. And it took me like 5 or 6 months to even know exactly how I wanted to shoot a picture. Never mind shoot a video.
That picture at the beginning.
Well, there's that one picture that's just not even fair. Oh, that picture.
Picture of the beginning of our videos, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that took us a long time to figure out, you know, like, all of that. The thing is, if you want to record videos, but you don't have a big budget to dump into the highest end recording equipment and lighting equipment and sound equipment, as you just saw, yeah, you can still make incredibly high quality videos. You just have to make sure you're putting in the time and effort in order to do it.
We put out a video 3 times a week. That's 20 to 40 minutes of video 3 times a week, but that's 10 to 20 hours of work a week, and we do that every single week. Mm-hmm. We've been doing it every single week for 2.5 months now. Yeah, and we've seen a lot of things, and we've learned a lot of things. Yeah. And I get it. I started learning how to do photography, videography, sound, everything. Here's a picture of the sound setup because all we could do was afford like a middle of the road on camera microphone. Doesn't work on the camera anymore. We taped it to the desk and hooked it up to the cheapest audio recorder we could find. And hey, it works for us, so fine. But you do it all the time. You do it every single day. You get used to it. You find the weird things. And I learning all of these things every single time I start something new. it's after I just finished. It's after I just spent a bunch of time learning the last thing, and I'm like, oh, I know what I'm doing now. I'm a total expert. This is great, but this is actually really hard. There's got to be an easy way to learn it. There's not. You watch as many videos as you can. You talk to as many experts as you can. I have so many friends that I didn't realize were photographers, or I didn't realize were sound engineers. Spread out. Tell people you bought a camera. Tell people you bought a microphone. Tell people you're starting a YouTube channel, whatever. You're going to have more experts in your life than you realized, and just time, man.
Yeah.
Put in as much time as you possibly can.
Put in the time is really important.
Learn it as much as you can. Do it as much as you can.
Yep.
While you're doing it, continue to learn as much as you can.
Yep. So I've been doing this for a little bit longer than Dan has, as far as putting myself out there and making videos like consistently and a lot. Dan has more experience than I do with editing. I don't know about more experience, but he has a lot more experience recently.
Yes.
This is a lot more intensive than anything I do on my channel. But Dan also has had multiple past channels that he's done other types of videos on.
Those were sort of lucky stumbling in the dark, though. There were 2 videos I made where I made brass and vocal. Well, the first one was brass and vocal. The second one was just brass covers of popular songs. And there are 2 of them. One of them took the entire summer of my second summer in college, and the other took the entire third summer when I was in college. And that's because for the first one, I just really had no idea what I was doing. My parents are musicians, so I knew how to use a microphone. Didn't really know how to hook it up. Bought a thing that kind of taught me how to hook it up, so I hooked it up, and I recorded it, and it was fine. And then I had rudimentary experience throwing video clips together, so I did that. And then I actually got a decent video editor for the second one, and spent all summer learning it and putting it together. And I never had anything that was like, you know what, here's my schedule, here's how often I'm going to put these videos out, I'm going to take this seriously, and I'm going to do this for the foreseeable future. They were summer projects, and they just both happened to be 4 minutes of video that took 3.5 months each time.
Yeah, and as a streamer, as a YouTuber myself, I put out, so I'm editing my own channel's videos, and I put out 4 videos a week, plus the 3 videos we do here, and then I stream 3 times a week. And then everyone tells me that I'm not doing enough content, and I'm like, I don't know what you want. This is a full-time job. This is a full-time job at this point, in addition to the 2 jobs that I already have.
Yeah.
And so it's fun. I love it, and I want to keep doing it. I'm not saying that to complain or make an excuse or anything. I'm just saying the more time you put in, the more effort you put in, and as much as you want to put in. Because I'm putting in all that time and effort because I love doing this. I think it's really enjoyable.
Yeah.
You may not. You may start this and be like, oh my god, this is the most grindy grunt work of all time. This is the part of Pokemon that nobody wants to do because you're just leveling up and you don't see any rewards for it for 15 levels. And so you're just sitting there for 3-4 hours and nothing comes of it, or at least nothing feels like it's coming of it. But then 3-4 hours later, you are 15 levels higher and you have comparable stats to the other things, the other Pokemon on the team, and you have the ability now to do it much faster.
That's sort of like life.
Yeah.
That's sort of exactly like life.
It's anything.
You put in the time, you grind.
Yeah. Grinding it's a part of life. Now, I understand that this is a hobby. This is an activity that you can choose to do, and some people would choose not to do it. Fine. That's totally within your right. But if you want to do it, what we're saying is go for it. You got nothing to lose. If you enjoy it, if you think it's something worthwhile and fun and you enjoy producing it, then it will be good content. If you enjoy making the content, someone's going to enjoy watching the content. That's my experience. I think that's been your experience as far as I can tell.
For sure.
And the ability for us to have that knowledge comes from the fact that we put in that time in the beginning, in October, really in October.
Yeah.
Despite us wanting to start a channel 2 years ago. Same concept. Actually,
yeah.
We would have done this 2 years ago if we had time.
Yeah.
At the time, and the
we
knowledge.
took the recording time, didn't have the editing time.
Yep. We actually recorded an entire series of Star Fox 64.
It was an 84-minute playthrough. We did it all in one go.
Yep.
And then we started to chop it up and put it into episodes. We got an episode and a half done, and then it was time to go back to school, and we went to school.
Yep.
2,000 miles apart.
Yeah, neither of us could put in the time to edit during school.
No.
Both of us had very intensive schooling. And I feel like I'm busier out of college, but I also managed to make time for things that I couldn't have done in college because I don't understand how that works, but life.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to say about starting a channel like this, and I never really appreciated when I was either doing my videos that I just mentioned or doing my vlog when I went abroad in college, because that was much lower pressure. I didn't really, I didn't make it fancy at all. I was just telling people back home how my day was. But when you sit down and you say, this is going to be my YouTube channel, this is going to be our schedule, and we're going to do it for as long as we can, you're effectively starting a business. And that takes a lot of time. Like, it's your part-time job because you've got your full-time job, but your part-time job being like 25 hours a week on a light week. And you're putting in your budget for all of your sound equipment, all of your video equipment, all of your recording equipment, and you take cheap blankets and lights and clips wherever you can because you don't have an income. You're just doing it until it can get off the ground. You're your own marketing department, and our advertising is very light. We're not going ham on the advertising because that's not our game right now.
It's not in the budget.
And it's not in the budget. So it's something that I never fully appreciated. I knew that when I was signing up for this that it would be signing up for this. We didn't have a form. When I was proverbially signing...
Wow.
When I was
what a proverb.
He
who signs up.
I knew that when I signed up for this, I'd be putting in a lot of work, and I knew that I was committing, that I wasn't gonna give up, and the entire month of October would have been the perfect time to say, you know what? Can't do this. It takes too long. Ignoring the fact that it would have gotten faster as I went along, but even still, it's a lot. It's more than I ever thought it was gonna be, and I still love it. That's why I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be worth it in the long run. It's just if you're in the foreseeable future going to have a point where you need to stop, that's fine. Hiatuses happen. Just put that in the plan. Put that in the schedule. Know what you're gonna do, because if you go in unawares and you're in over your head, then you're kind of stuck.
Now, one thing I want to say is Dan still. So he spends hours, nights editing these videos together, and it's a long process, and I respect it because I will spend my own nights doing videos for my own channel, and we'll both be sitting here editing. Not here. I'll be sitting here. He'll be sitting in his room, and we'll both be editing, just not talking, no music on except for the sounds we're listening to in the video because we need to listen to that music. Nothing, just editing video for 3-4 hours, and every once in a while we'll get up and go to the bathroom and kind of cross paths. And almost every time that happens, Dan will come out with this big grin on his face and be like, you need to watch this. And it's like, I just recorded it. I know what happens. And I'll come watch it. Every time I leave laughing hysterically and just enjoying it. And this is even if in the long term we can't maintain a channel like this forever, and I honestly don't expect us to, being realistic people,
we're both very ambitious.
Yeah.
We have bigger fish to fry, and I think we're gonna fry them.
There's a lot more that we have to offer than a YouTube channel. But right now, it's something super fun, and I think even if it's just a short-term thing, the fact that almost every night we end up smiling about this channel and enjoying this channel, and it's just a short-term commitment that makes us happy in the right now, I think that's a big deal, and something that a lot of people don't seem to have today. This era of whatever's going on in the world, sometimes you need to sit down and do something for yourself. Do something good for yourself. There's a lot of causes you can get invested in that are good for the world, and good for humanity, and good for people around you. But
which are great to do.
I'm not saying don't do those. Those are important. But sometimes just sit down and do something you want to do. Play a game, record a video, make someone laugh, make yourself laugh. Laugh with someone. Laughing is great.
Go for a walk.
Anything that makes you feel like you are personally happy right now. You need that sometimes. And for us right now, this channel is that. It's an escape. It's a chance for us to do something different, do something we've never done before, and but do it while doing something we know we've loved forever. And people are like, oh, you have a YouTube channel, what do you do? Play video games? okay. And then we come back here and we're like, yeah, we play video games on the internet. Like, how could my life be better? And, you know, it's kind of funny because every time I think about this channel, I just smile. I'm like, oh yeah, this channel is like ridiculous. Like, we just do whatever we want. We don't script anything. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, I just sit here and talk to you guys. And it's a blast. And then I'll be like, oh shoot, like my notes are almost caught up to where we are in the game. I need to like write some more into my spreadsheets. And like I'll write like another, you know, couple of sections out, and so that we're good on a few videos. And then I keep going. And like, yeah, that's work. I have to do that. That takes a couple hours to get any amount done. And that's just like, it has to get done, and the editing and the rendering and making sure that everything works and making sure that all this stuff is recording at the right times and the right places, and having the screen set up by itself is a 15-minute procedure. And so it's just these little things that like, they add up. Time is of the essence, but at the same time, every minute of it, I think both of us enjoy it. Both of us are having fun, laughing, just being goofballs together as we used to be when we were younger, and we haven't had a chance to do it a lot as we've gotten older together. Yeah. And we've lived together, but we almost never see each other except when we're recording, so it is a nice chance to actually like get some interaction together. And sometimes you just gotta do that for yourself. Just be the person, you know, be someone for yourself. Be selfish. It comes from me. That doesn't come from me often.
Yeah. It's honestly part of self-help, self-care, and that might not seem very intuitive because you're just sitting in front of a screen, you're not taking care of yourself, you're not resting, but laughter is the best medicine.
Absolutely.
I spent so long after college, day to day, too often thinking this was kind of a waste of a day. I came home and I didn't really do anything, and, you know, maybe I caught up a little bit on these.
You don't do that anymore.
Yeah, maybe I caught up on a couple TV shows that I've been trying to watch, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I just sat down for a while and ordered Chinese food and like just kind of was a lump on the couch, and that's it. But I certainly don't have that anymore.
No,
and it's great. You need to take care of yourself, because if you're just idle, you'll go insane. You'll get stir crazy. I did.
Mm-hmm. And this is like, well, I don't want to like make you guys feel like you have to record a series.
Oh, yeah, and that's self-help for me.
Yeah.
Some people absolutely need to come home every single day and just sit, and that's so fine.
Yeah.
That's not at all what's for me.
What we're trying to say is take that minute, that afternoon, that time that you have, and be a little selfish sometimes. Put down I don't want to say facade, but put down all of that who you are outside, and don't let it go. You know, don't be like, well, I don't have to be a feminist anymore because I'm sitting in my own room now. Like, obviously, you know, like still care about the causes that you care about, but take a little time and rest, relax in the way that makes you feel the most rested and relaxed. And personally to me, and I believe to Dan, I don't want to speak for him, but I think this recording episodes relaxes us. It makes us laugh. It makes us enjoy ourselves.
Having an objective every single minute that I'm out of bed is what makes me rested and relaxed.
Ironically. Yeah.
Every single person except this guy looks at me like I'm crazy when I say that, which is why I don't say that very often, but really it is.
Yeah, I'm probably the only person busier than Dan on a day-to-day basis.
And it really just depends day to day.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Monday. Think about it, right? Just our week. Let's just go through the week, and let's leave out almost everything except for like what they know we do. Okay, so Monday we both work 8 to 4. So we get up at 6:30 in the morning. Both are gone by 7:30, and we're at work 8 to 4.
May or may not see each other on the way out the door.
Nope, usually don't, because I'm really bad about getting up in the morning. So we get up. We're working 8 to 4. I get home a little sooner usually, just because I work a little bit closer. So I get home. It's like 4:30, right? So usually we've recorded, I guess we should start on Sunday. Sunday, we record 3 episodes.
Saturday, if we're on top of it.
Yes.
I think we did that once.
That one time. So Monday, I get home at 4:30. I make dinner. I go to the bathroom. And then I start setting up my stuff to stream, where I will be streaming from 6 to 9 o'clock every Monday. So I'm sitting there doing that.
I'm not home because I have a meeting after work from 4 to 6 usually, but
Yeah.
will be extended now and for the next few months.
So Dan doesn't get home till 6:30, 7 o'clock. He gets home, makes himself dinner, then he goes and starts editing. I finish up at 9 o'clock, I take a shower, I start editing. And then he'll go to bed, he'll finish editing the week, the Wednesday's video at least, by 11. And
Wait, are we still on Sunday or Monday? My meeting is on Monday.
Yeah, Monday. We're on Monday.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So then he'll finish by 11, and he'll go to bed. Because I didn't start till 9, I'll usually finish around 1. So I'll go to bed. Wake up at 6:30 the next morning, go to work 8 to 4. That time is kind of set. And then Tuesday, we come back, and if Dan hasn't finished editing Wednesday's video, he keeps editing that. If he has, he starts editing Friday's video. And then I will continue editing my series on my own channel. Because I post videos on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And so those have to get edited and recorded and everything for my own personal channel. And then Wednesday, we get to Wednesday, and once again, 11 o'clock bedtime usually, 1 o'clock bedtime usually. Wednesday, repeat Monday, basically. Except Dan doesn't get home till like 8 o'clock on Wednesdays.
What do I do on Wednesday?
DI?
Oh, right. My meeting's on Wednesdays now, not Mondays.
Oh yeah, they changed it.
So Monday I just come home and I edit and then I sleep.
Wednesdays he stays out for a while and then comes home and edits and sleeps.
Yeah.
And then Thursday is more like Tuesday, kind of repeating that. And then Friday is usually chaos. Because I will stream for a lot longer on Friday, so I'll usually stream for like 4 to 6 hours instead of 3 hours.
Every single week for the first half of the week, I have nothing planned for the weekend, and then by Friday, I'm leaving work early to go to some
Dan's
town
never home.
Tens of miles away.
Dan's never home, and then things happen, and then the weekend is just crazy. Between Ultimate, between social life, between DI, between
Family.
between,
Don't forget your family. Don't do it.
between everything that we do for every day. I probably average 4 hours of sleep. Dan 6.
I need to average 8, but
Dan gets grumpy.
doesn't always happen. I don't get grumpy. I just fall asleep everywhere. If I'm sitting down,
Just reset it.
I think I've done that twice already.
What we're trying to say is we are extraordinarily busy, and that keeps us both sane somehow.
Yes.
And you need to find that thing for you. But to not let this go on forever, which
Yes,
we
this is getting a tad long.
we could do.
We could.
But we won't.
Yes.
We'll spare you.
A little.
The point of this video is to show you kind of what it looks like that we've been doing this shiny hunting for a week. During the course of this episode,
Week and a half.
Yeah, week and a half actually.
We finished recording last Wednesday's episode. Whatever that date is. I'll put the date because this isn't going out until next week anyway. We finished recording 2 weeks ago's episode for Wednesday, the weekend prior, and since then, since that Saturday, I think we've been shiny hunting to try to get this.
Yeah. We've probably done, I want to say 50 encounters in this episode.
Sure.
Something like that. Maybe a little more, maybe like 75. That puts us at 6,875 approximately. I haven't been keeping a perfect count, but something in that vicinity.
Yeah.
I have streamed myself shiny hunting for 6 hours. I streamed in 6 hours. I did about 900 encounters. So that's kind of how I'm estimating. So things like that, this is not a short-term commitment that we've tried to make and get this thing to sparkle.
And it's gonna break our hearts to give up, but
we ran out of time.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we continue putting out episodes, and it's more important to us to continue the series than to get a shiny Pokemon that we aren't even going to use for the playthrough.
Yeah.
So I hope.
Go ahead. What do you hope?
It's just cut it off there. It's a cliffhanger.
Well, Robert mentioned earlier that you may have noticed that our intro is a tad different.
Ah, yes.
I didn't know if you had more to say about that, or if it was just going to be kind of the story of during the video.
No, I mean I think that suits our channel really well. I think it suits our personalities better. I think Hello and Welcome is a great intro. Everyone uses it, and that's a little stale as far as who we are.
That's why we did it.
Yeah,
We
it
sat
worked.
down to record the first time. We said, well, What are we gonna say?
And we went back to what everyone does, what I do on my other channel and what everyone does. But I think neither of us is quite everyone.
No, absolutely not.
As we just described.
Even more fitting, in case you missed our Splatoon video from before the break, we were just playing, and I have no idea what inspired me to do so. I don't know what happened the first time I did it, but I was imparting some knowledge, whether it was like, oh yeah, that'll get you, or like, here's something you can do, ladies and gents and everyone in between, and that's just kind of what happened, and it stuck.
And it will. I think that's a really good intro for our series, and we're gonna stick with it for a little while. If you guys have any comments about it and want to say anything to us, please do so. We read every comment and reply to as many as we possibly can. At least one of us is gonna reply to it.
Yeah.
So there are two heads looking at it, so that's always good.
While we're on the topic of changes, you may notice that we look a tad different than usual. You've got a little less of the background in frame. You can't see the bookcase anymore. I don't know how much different further to back we are. Sure. We got a new lens. We're trying it out. It lets in a little bit more light so we can kind of keep the noise a little further down. For anyone who doesn't give a single crap about that, fine. If anybody nerds out at all about cameras, that may be a tad exciting for you. So let us know what you think. Let us know if you noticed at all, if you like it, if you don't like it. We still have the other lens, so if you're like, well, I need my Pikachu up in the corner of the face cam, you never even noticed the Pikachu because it was too small. Whatever. Any thought you have, let us know. We're happy to get feedback when we change things.
Absolutely. We do not and will not ask for likes and comments and subscriptions in a way that feels forced. But at the same time, that is channel growth. And if you do like the content, if you feel inspired to tell us something, or if you feel inspired to click that button in order to see more content, then I encourage you to use those buttons to their fullest. However that feels right to you. And at the end of this insanely long episode, as I was saying before, I hope you guys have enjoyed at least seeing what it's like to shiny hunt, and listening to us just go through kind of a channel update more than anything else. I really think that this channel has a lot of growth and a lot of potential, and we're seeing it and we're experiencing it ourselves. And I think when we get to the next series where we're going, there's going to be a lot more coming your way as far as, I don't want to say quality, but just time that we've put behind ourselves so that we understand what we're doing better. Yeah. And when that comes, is, it's gonna happen. I don't really know when.
And when it does, let us know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, don't.
Yep.
But we make it, we put it together, it's our channel, it's our content, we make it for you. So if what you see isn't for you, we're not doing our job, let us know.
But I can't help but say thank you as of right now to everyone who's watched this video and every video and any video of his and personally mine. I have to say that too. Shout outs to you if you watch both. That's a lot of me.
I put we put the Goldoa Dragon channel at the end of every single video in the end card, so you always have access to more Pokemon content
if you ever want it. It's a lot. But we're not gonna hold you forever.
We are so over time.
I think we've expended our allotted time limit of half an hour, 20 minutes ago.
Absolutely. And I can't really think of what I want to take out. So before we go way too far,
we're gonna cut it here. And unfortunately, we don't have it yet. But
here's to chance. And until next time, see you later. Stop that. Bye!